secondary school third year. Welcome back to our TV educational English program. Today, my dear friends, we are going to deal with Unit 5 with my colleague, Jérmين Bهاء.
Hi, my dear students. We would like to welcome you to the English program again and hope you benefit from this episode. Let's go together to the unit.
Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie was born in 1890 and was the youngest of 3 children.
She was a shy child who was very close to her family.
When her mother died, Christie disappeared for about a week. Nobody knew where she was.
Later, she could remember nothing about the week and is thought to have suffered from amnesia.
Some of the books are based on her travels abroad.
She wrote Murder on the Orient Express. She wrote also Death on the Nile and Death Comes at the End, a dark story of a family in ancient Egypt.
The best books have been published in over 100 countries and translated into over 40 languages.
She is considered the queen of English crime fiction. Now, my dear students, with definitions of the new vocabulary.
Amnesia. The medical condition of not being able to remember anything. Excavation. Digging up the ground to find things from the past.
Mousetrap. A device for catching and usually killing mice.
Murder. The crime of killing someone.
Spy. Someone whose job is to find out secret information about a country.
Identify. Who someone is.
Suspect as a noun. Someone who may be guilty of a crime.
Transmitter. A piece of equipment that sends out radio or television signals.
Invasion. Usually military forces to take control of a country.
Shy. Nervous and embarrassed about talking to other people.
Now with confused words. الفرق بين كلمة shy and ashamed. امتى بقول shy وامتى بقول ashamed؟
She is too shy to speak in public. She must be ashamed of his repeated mistakes. طبعا shy هو الخجل، أما ashamed هو إني أبقى خجلان من فعل مش كويس أنا عملته. فshy دي حاجة يعني خجول، لكن ashamed يعني محرج جدا من الموقف الوحش اللي هو عمله.
seem to be plus adjective أو seem adjective على طول. أحمد seems happy today. Seems to be happy today.
Busy with plus noun. She is busy with her school work.
Crime fiction stories and science fiction stories. Crime fiction stories معناها قصص الجرائم الخيالية، لكن science fiction stories معناها قصص الخيال العلمي. Agatha Christie is the queen of English crime fiction stories. Many writers wrote science fiction stories about traveling to space.
Suspect, a suspect, suspicion, suspicious. She strongly suspected that he was lying to her. هنا suspected جاية في شكل الverb. A suspect يعني مشتبه فيه. They call the police because of some suspect men. Suspicion هو الشك. هنلاحظ انه نهايات الكلمة اختلفت خالص في نوعها وفي معناها. يعني في فرق بين suspicious و suspicion. فده اللي ناخد بالنا منه ان ازاي النهاية ممكن تختلف في المعنى وكمان تخلي نوع الكلمة مختلف. Some of his colleagues at work were suspicious of his behavior.
She worked as a nurse. كلمة work as بيعمل بيجي بعدها اسم وظيفة مثلا زي ما اقول I work as a teacher. لكن لما اقول لو جاء بعدها verb فالverb بيجي في التصريف التالي. طب لو جاء بعدها work for ده يعمل لدى. طب لو قلت work at معناها منهمك فيه. لكن work with معناها يعمل مع. لكن work in هي اللي بعدها المكان. يلا نشوف مع بعض وجايب لي she worked Agatha Christie. She worked as a nurse. هي فعلا اشتغلت كممرضة قبل كده. Some of her books are based on her travels. الكتب بتاعتها طبعا مبنية على الرحلات بتاعتها.
The longest running play in the world.
دي أطول مسرحية استمر عرضها في العالم ما زالت تعرض حتى الآن. The Mousetrap.
Agatha Christie died aged 85.
ماتت عن عمر يناهز ال 85 سنة. طبعا كل دي expressions عندنا في الوحدة.
Increasing numbers of tourists.
أعداد متزايدة من السياح.
Do a project about. Were turned into films.
زي ما خدنا قبل كده قلنا made into films برضو خدنا turned into films.
Be locked in.
He has been found dead. وجد ميتا. يعني وجد جاء بعدها adjective. To his surprise. To my surprise. To everyone's surprise. هنا surprise وقع في الجملة noun فجاء قبلها ضمير ملكي. يعني لمفاجأة الناس كلها لما وجدوا ان ميسيس بروت هي السباي بتاع القصة.
Choose the correct answer. He banged his head and is now suffering from amnesty, headache, memory weakness, amnesia. طبعا الكلمة الصح amnesia. He banged his head يعني خبط راسه.
The main space for a stolen car is a man in his forts. Suspect المشتبه فيه الرئيسي ولا suspicious ولا gang ولا murderer. لا طبعا ما ينفعش الميردرر ومع العربية المسروقة. يبقى the main suspect. الشخص المشتبه به الرئيسي للعربية المسروقة هو رجل في الأربعين من عمره.
They are using a powerful to send signals to the astronauts. Mobile, radio, computer, transmitter. The right answer is transmitter.
Working as a space in a foreign country is a dangerous job. Spy, ambassador, diplomat ولا agent. طبعا هو كdangerous job وظيفة خطر لدولته ما تبقاش diplomat ولا ambassador طبعا هتبقى spy. العمل كجاسوس في دولة أجنبية بتبقى وظيفة خطر طبعا بتضر بلده يعني.
People have to carry an card to prove who they are. Identical, personality, credit, identity. The right word is identity. طبعا الفروق بين الأربع كلمات باينة جدا. كلمة identical يعني متطابق. أما كلمة personality هي الشخصية. credit اللي هو الكارت اللي بندفع بيه الفلوس. أما identity هي الهوية. ففي فرق بين identical و identity. identical يعني متطابق.
The Romans space Britain in 43 BC opened, invaded, invented ولا attacked. هو لو انا قلت ان the Romans attacked Britain هاجموها يبقى معنى كده ان هم هاجموها وخرجوا تاني من البلد. لكن عايز اقول ان هم احتلوها، يعني حصل فيه هجوم واحتلال. فبقى كلمة invaded. النون اللي احنا خدناه اسمه invasion. The Romans invaded Britain in 43 BC.
We saw a lot of photographs, but we couldn't the man who we had seen. Realize, mark, find, identify. الكلمة الصح طبعا هي identify يعني نتعرف عليه.
The enemy used radios to space messages to their ships. Transmit, receive, transport ولا broadcast. طبعا وانا عندي الاختيارين فيهم يمشوا transmit ولا receive. transmit معناه يبث ويرسل وريسيف يستقبل. طب اخد انهي واحده فيهم؟ لا بص في الجمله تاني كده هتلاقي بيقول لي to their ships. ما ينفعش اقول receive to. امال اقول ايه بقى؟ صح؟ That's right. Transmit messages to their ships.
To everyone's, the spy leader turned out to be the shy Mrs. Sprout. Surprise, surprising, surprised, astonish. To everyone's surprise. طبعا الكلمة هنا في شكلها كنون هي الأصح. أما surprising و surprised فهم adjectives.
Minna is often spaced with people she doesn't know. Embarrassed, shameful, ashamed ولا shy. طبعا هي لما قلنا الفرق بين كلمة ashamed و shy، كلمة ashamed معناها خجولة من something wrong she did، من شيء غلط هي عملته. لكن shy معناها خجولة أو هي مكسوفة بتتكسف، ودي شيء في الطبيعة بتاعتها من الناس اللي أول مرة تشوفهم. فطبعا بقت Minna is often shy with people she doesn't know. Now, my dear friends, find the mistake in each of the following sentences, then write them correctly.
The mousetrap is the longest run play in the world. The mousetrap is the longest running play in the world. وقلنا running play يعني مسرحية مستمرة لمدة طويلة.
Christie worked with an they did some excavation. ده جاء في امتحان السنة اللي فاتت. هي طبعا اللي بيعمل excavation بيعمل تنقيب على الآثار ده ما يبقاش architect، ما يبقاش مهندس معماري. امال اللي بيعمل تنقيب على الآثار ده يبقى ايه؟ archaeologist. archaeologist معناها عالم في الآثار.
He is suffering from amnesia. He couldn't forget anything. He is suffering from amnesia. He cannot remember anything. طبعا الفرق بين forget و remember إن هما أساسا عكس بعض، هما opposites. forget يعني ينسى و remember يتذكر. People suffering from amnesia usually cannot remember things, not to forget them.
Some children are ashamed about talking to their teacher. لا هم لو عملوا غلط معلش، لكن هنا some children are shy about talking to their teacher.
The characters in this novel is based in real persons. The characters in this novel is based on real persons. Based on معناها مبنيين على شخصيات حقيقية. احنا في يونتس سابقة كنا we dealt with الكلمات اللي بتدل على معنى based، وقلنا ازاي ان preposition لما بيتغير in و on بيختلف خالص المعنى وبيدي different meaning.
How did the man prove his innocent؟ طب هي كلمة his innocent، his دي ضمير ملكية بيجي بعدها noun، لكن innocent دي adjective. طب أنا لما أحب أجيب من كلمة innocent أجيب منها الناون، الناون من كلمة innocent innocence. How did the man prove؟ إزاي الراجل أثبت his innocence، يعني البراءة بتاعته، لكن كلمة innocent معناها بريء.
Again, Mr. Muhammad, we see that the ending, when the suffix end at the end with innocent and innocence, the word type changed and the meaning also changed.
That's right.
So suffixes at the end usually change the meaning and the type of the word.
زي بالظبط كلمة absent و absence.
Yeah.
نفس الفكرة إن كلمة absent من نفس كلمة innocent بقت كده adjective، لما تتحول لكلمة suffix بتاعها لما تغير بقت كلمة absence بقى معناها absent الغياب نفسه. طبعا اتغير المينينج بتاع الكلمة لما بتغير بعض الحروف اللي في آخر الكلام. يبقى في معنى كده ان في عندنا words في آخر الكلام لو غيرت السافكس او غيرت البريفكس اللي موجود في الاول بيديني طبعا another meaning او بيديني فورم تاني للكلمة بتحولها من adjective لناون او من ناون لادجكتيف.
That's right. The enemy used radios to transmitter messages to their ships. The enemy used radios to transmit messages to their ships. الفرق بين transmitter و transmit. And transmitter is a noun while transmit is the verb.
Romans invasion breach in 43 BC. هو Romans noun عايز يكون دي subject فاحنا عايزين بعدها verb. يبقى عايزين الفيرب من كلمة invasion. يلا نشوف الفيرب من invasion هو invaded. Romans invaded breach. وطبعا السؤال ده موجود عندكم في الورك بوك. Now my dear students with grammar. Passive construction starting with it. لما نقول مثلا people said الناس قالت الباسيف بتاع لما اقول it is said that قيل ان it is reported that it is believed that. طبعا ده باسيف تاني غير الباسيف اللي احنا خدناه في الوحده الرابعه. قيل ان ودي تركيبات خاصه في الباسيف. في فرق بين لما تبدا بالسبجكت، في فرق بين لما تبدا بات هتربط بذات، وفي فرق بين لما تبدا بالاوبجكت هتاخد فيرب تو بي وتصريف ثالث بس هتربط بتو. يلا نشوف مع بعض كده. It is said that. السبجكت اللي عندنا people we they بيجي بعدها present simple او اي tense بنربط بذات دي active. لكن لو بدات ب it is او it was او it verb to be plus past participle هربط بذات وبقت الجمله كده باسف.
People think that prices will rise next month. This construction of sentences is based on the information and is used to generalize. When you want to say that this is a general idea among people or it's a general belief. It is thought that prices will rise next month. احنا نلاحظ هنا انه احنا شلنا خالص كلمة people وحطينا بدلها كلمة it. بعدين حطينا verb to be وبعديها حطينا verb think في past participle. فبقى structure it is thought that. وبكده حولنا الجملة الأولانية للpassive using it.
تاني people we they أي subject verb that في حالة الأكتف. لو بدأنا بالأوبجكت بقى عندنا verb to be plus past participle. بس احنا في عندنا to هنربط ب to. to هيجي بعدها infinitive وفي to have plus past participle. تفرق في ايه؟ لو انت جبت to بعدها infinitive ده في حالة البريزنت، لكن لو جبت to have plus past participle دي في حالة الباست. يبقى اختلفت هنا. لو بدأت بالفاعل عندنا حاجتين ممكن تربط بذات بس الجملة تبقى اكتف. لكن لو بدأت بفاعل وتربط بتو يبقى الجملة في النص باسف. لكن لو بدأت بإت لازم تبقى الجملة باسف. يبقى في عندنا 2 ذات، في عندنا 2 فاعل. واحدة فاعل بذات الجملة اكتف، لكن ات وذات يبقى الجملة باسف. لكن فاعل وتو بقت الجملة باسف برضه. طب ايه اللي بعد تو؟ لا اما انفينيتيف دي في حالة البريزنت، لا اما هاف بلس باست بارتيسيبل دي في حالة الباست. يلا نشوف مع بعض.
Scientists expect that temperature will rise in the future. Temperature is expected to rise in the future. People think that Christie suffered from amnesia. Christie is thought to have suffered from amnesia. It is suspected that the wanted man is living in the forest. The wanted man is suspected to be living in the forest. It is reported that 2 persons were injured in the accident. 2 persons are reported to have been injured in the accident.
Now choose the correct answer. برضه واحنا بنختار لازم بنعرف احنا اخترنا ليه. The mousetrap space as a radio play called 3 Blind Mice were written, wrote, was written ولا was writing. هي الماوس تراب هي اللي كتبت ولا هي اللي كتبت؟ الماوس تراب دي هي اللي كتبت لان في حد كتبها. اجاثا كريستي كتبتها. يبقى الجمله كده باسف. ماوس تراب هنا وقع في الجمله اوبجكت مفعول. فانت عايز حاجتين فيرب تو بي بلس باست بارتيسيبل. طب عندنا 2، في عندنا is written وفي عندنا was written. طب هي اجاثا كريستي present ولا past؟ صح كده؟ يلا نشوف كده. The mousetrap طبعا was written. طب ليه ما خدتش were written؟ لا ده mousetrap مفرد، ده مش جمع. فنقول was written as a radio play called 3 Blind Mice.
Newspapers that she had done some excavation are reported, is reported, reported, were ported. The right answer is reported. Here the sentence doesn't need to have any passive form. It can go as is. Newspapers reported, because we have subject, verb, and the last phrase starting from that is the information that we need to focus on.
She space to have suffered from amnesia. She subject وعندنا to. She is thought, has thought, thinks, is thinking. الجملة طبعا باسف لأن قلنا ما دام في عندنا واقع في الجملة subject و to يبقى في النص في باسف. في عندنا باسف واحد بس is thought. اعتقد أن to have suffered from amnesia. She is thought.
The last World Cup final on TV by millions of people. Saw, was seen, was being seen, has seen. أنا في عندي حاجتين لازم أخلي بالي منهم. أولاً أنا عندي كلمة by. by معناها إنه أنا عندي هنا passive. الحاجة التانية إني أبص على التنس. In the beginning of the sentence we have the last World Cup, which means that this is something that already happened and took place and finished. So I have passive and in the past. The options we have: saw, was seen, was being seen, has seen. So the right choice is was seen.
One of our classroom windows space has been broken, has broken, have been broken ولا broke. وطبعا مش الشباك هو اللي كسر، اكيد الشباك هو اللي اتكسر. يعني الجمله باسيف، يبقى انت عايز verb to be plus past participle. عندنا اتنين، عندنا has been broken وعندنا have been broken. ما يخدعكش ان في كلمه windows جمع فتاخد have، لا. بص في الاول كده one of our classroom windows، واحده من شبابيك الفصل. انا بتكلم عن مفرد اهي، ودايما one of بيجي بعدها جمع، واحده من مجموعه، ودي جت في امتحان السنه اللي قبل اللي فاتت. one of our classroom windows مالها بقى؟ has been broken، اتكسرت او كسرت، مبنيه المجهول طبعا.
The house is said to last year. Have painted, have been painted, have painting, be painting. The house is said to be excellent. The house is said to have been painted last year.
Thank you, my dear friends. We come to the end for this episode for today.
Thank you and hope to see you next week. Bye.
Goodbye.